Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the full moon of October 2021. I'm so moved every single time we open the room and I get to see so many faces that I know and love, and those of you who I've never met before, but coming before me in this rectangular circle, as my friend Erin says, it moves me to the core that we get to be together in this way. So pardon me while I get with the moment. My name is Cynthia Jewers. For those of you who I don't know, I'm the director of the Earth Treasure Vase Global Healing Project and the guiding teacher for the International Gaia Mandala Sangha, and the founder of Alliance for the Earth. And we have been meeting like this, and originally in person, for more than 30 years, every single full moon, to cultivate this practice of bringing healing and protection to the earth. And as many of you know, maybe most of you know, it began when I met a 106-year-old Lama living in a cave in Nepal back in 1990. And I received from him this practice of the earth treasure vases, which is what we have used as the focus for our meditation for all this time, filling these little clay pots with prayers and offerings and taking them around the planet to plant them in now close to 70 locations around the world, to create this global healing mandala. So tonight is a very special night for me, and I'm just deeply, deeply moved because we have the honor of welcoming Joanna Macy to our circle. And Joanna has been just a dear friend and mentor to me since the early 1980s. So I have known her for longer than this journey has been going on. She has been an inspiration to me and a guide and a support to me all along the way. And so for those of you who may not know Joanna, she is known as an eco-philosopher, which I think is a pretty wonderful way of characterizing what you do, Joanna. She's the founder of the Work That Reconnects, the author of many, many books, including World as Lover, World as Self, Active Hope, and so many more. So when I first met Joanna, she was doing what she called despair and empowerment in the nuclear age, really going into and inviting people to come to terms with the reality that we're living in these times. So already back then in the 80s, she was teaching us how to wake up in relationship to what we're doing to Mother Earth. And the other thing that Joanna was teaching very early on and looking into that it was a strong influence on me was this notion of nuclear guardianship, and really asking us to consider what are we leaving to future generations, and how can we guard these substances that are changing the web of life forever. And so it was actually around the same time that Joanna was bringing this out that I went to meet Charok Rinpoche, the old wise man in the cave. And I was very much motivated to ask him, what can we do to bring healing and protection to the earth because of this awakening that I was going through Joanna's work in regard to the legacy of radioactive waste. So you can see this is a deep weaving here. And Joanna's teachings have really inspired me and shown me the way in the same way that the Dharma has. I consider Joanna to be a great Dharma teacher for these times. And so Joanna has gone on, of course, to bring so many pieces together in what she calls the work that reconnects, which is a body of work that is really pointing the way for waking up in these times and doing so together. So I really want to honor you, Joanna, for all that you've done in the course of your amazing lifetime, and what a gift it is to be able to share the path with you, to have been on the receiving end of so much of what you have brought forward in your life. And I just want to express my gratitude for all you have given me and through me to this global Sangha, who is dedicated. These are my family, all of these people here, coming from all over the world, many through pilgrimages to locations where we have taken the treasure vases over the years. And we are now this Sangha or family of people dedicated to listening to Gaia's call and waking up in these times. So such a great gift to be able to bring all of us together right now. So I know that you probably have things you'd like to say, Joanna. I thought we could start with this sort of recognition that in the beginning, I know that you were a little unsure about the Earth Treasure Vase practice, that you had some questions about its, what was it really able to do? But I think it's kind of shifted over time. And I'm curious what that shift, how you would characterize that shift, and what is your feeling about this particular practice today and how it's evolved?
Yes, I could say that the shift could be characterized as seeing that the healing, which looked as if it could be some magical connection between the wishes in the treasure vase itself, the active, and the events on the outside. And that sort of, you could sort of scratch your head a little bit as to the actual logic of this. And though there was something at the same time that of what a sense of what this would require in terms of devotion and devotion to the earth, and what that could release in oneself in the process of actually following the guidance and the instructions. And then as time went on, I could see that this putting oneself into into service like this, linked to an age-old body of spiritual commitment, that there were dimensions of it that couldn't be dismissed, and that in the process there was something asked for. You were asked to act and do something that's both very material. You have these vases, and then you have the filling of them, you have the placement of them. And so a coming together of these elements to which you were asked to act in obedience and in service that did a remarkable, unleash something remarkable in the psyche, in the depths of one's being, that you suddenly found that you could not suddenly but gradually find that you were taking this situation we're in with utmost seriousness, and that you were asked to take yourself seriously, and you were asked to really know that the earth was under threat. And I'm saying this today, having heard in this morning's news that this very week, the Congress of the United States has whatever the things that they don't want to do for the families and the children and the health and of just the people in the States, but what they will do is not only do anything the Pentagon asks, but large thousands and billions more that even that the Pentagon doesn't know what to do with. So that there's this magical process at work in our government to think that whatever needs to be done, the most needed at all, is to shore ourselves up with the nuclear defensiveness. That is a readiness to build the most contaminating, dangerous objects in the world and in the history of humankind. Mm-hmm. And that seems of a quality of folly that is so mindless mm-hmm. And so dangerous mm-hmm. that the steady work at putting the mind to putting objects of what are the most sacred and serious to the mind into these pots for in the body of earth makes ever more sense. And the beauty of this, the moral beauty and the psychic spiritual training involved in this, and the way the heart heats up as you think about it, builds more and more awe in me for this exquisite process. And these are beyond an expression, the folly and danger of playing with this poisonous nuclear process that we're filling the world with, and that makes the journey that you are on and that you've shared with so many people and their response to it is exquisite. I'm so glad to see it continue, and to the moral discipline and beauty that is involved here.
Thank you, Joanna. It's quite a time we're living in, and that impulse around addressing the nuclear issue, which was one of my great motivations to begin with, has never really left. But there are so many things now not just that, which of course is one of the most serious issues that we face, but now, you know, all the things that we could name, from climate change to, um, you know, everything else I won't name. Um, I interviewed you one time, and you talked about becoming vessels of the holy. We were talking about these vessels. And then I think it was actually you who was the very first person to point out how each of us, 'cause this was a long time ago, we had this conversation, each of us is a holy vessel. And so it's one thing to take this treasure vase or vase around, carrying these prayers and these commitments that we feel, and many of you on the call have either stewarded treasure vases or are stewarding one now, and you see the seriousness of this and the assignment that we are holding in our lives in these times. But what does it mean to you, Joanna, to be a holy vessel now, living as we are, facing into the great question of the great turning? Are we, is this just a stopgap measure? How do we embody this assignment for ourselves as vessels?
Well, I think it's through that four-letter word, to love this earth that we have the incredible good fortune to be born here. Every molecule, every atom in our body is from this earth, of this earth. We are the earth. And that it's our incredible good fortune. It's how I experience it, to be alive now when she's under such threat and such danger. And all the other beings in it, the beings of the waters and of the forests, of the rivers, of the plains, the toxins that are spreading, and the species that are dying out, and the soil that's wearing away, that is, it's a very harsh, unforgiving time. And but for me, I just feel so glad to be here at a time when it looks so dark, and that we get a chance. We don't say, oh, how could we, if you would know that this was going to happen at Earth, you would certainly want to be there. That's the way I feel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that we are, and it's a great privilege. And it's a time when we can feel our love right there, feel it right there in our heart, mind. And that we are like a chance to give our heart, minds to this love. To be all that we can, for paying attention, being of service, and then with the these treasure vases, that you have a chance to actually put your love into actual physical form, its body, into the body of Earth.
You planted a vase at the Tritium facility, right, in connection to UC Berkeley.
Yeah.
What was it like for you to actually bury that vase, plant that seed?
Yeah. Well, this was, oh, you know, that on the grounds of the university and the University of California was where plutonium was discovered and made, you know, and it has had a huge role to play in the development of nuclear weapons. And so that to do it right here, we had to sneak around. It was on a steep slope. We wanted to be undiscovered, needless to say, and not to go rolling down the hill. And it was, if you come to the Berkeley campus of the University of California, there's you'll see up above on the hill there is a kind of house of a kind of museum, a kind of house of learning, and it has its name will come to me, the Hall of Science, the
Lawrence Hall.
Yeah. And so it's off to a place that's marked, hidden, you know, and yeah, it's nice to think of it being there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah.
I think that you told me after that vase was planted that, and you were concerned about all the children who go there, because it's a place that does process plutonium and other things. And so it's really a dangerous situation, but that they may have shut that down now. Is that right?
No, the Hall of Science, no.
No, but the production of the
Oh,
tritium.
that's true. The
Yeah,
tritium facility.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we don't know what the effects of these treasure vases will be. We just pour our love into them and make our offerings from our hearts and call on something so much larger than ourselves to you know, do the work that we little humans struggle with so much, but we care so much. I mean, this is the thing that has come back around to me over and over again as I've carried out this practice, how everyone cares about this world and about the earth and about our communities and about the trees and the rivers and the, you know, all of it, the web of life. So,
And we are now being so mindless with
Yeah.
what we're doing. It's just, it becomes questions of just, yeah. Right. It feels like empty-minded, and we can be vessels that are filled with love for and a sense of responsibility, a sense of deep caring for the wholeness of this earth and for the wholeness of the people that these nuclear bombs that tear us apart, that tear flesh and bone, that tear us into and turn us into these irradiating, shattered clouds of flesh that is just and to have that balanced by something that you're making with your love, to balance that with these, yeah.
Well, Joanna, my friend David Nickel, who happens to be on this call, he wrote something recently about this time. And I wanted to read this because I think, well, let me just read it to you. He says this full moon, actually, that we're in the midst of right now, from a point of view of astrology, is a crucial initiatory passage into courage.
Oh, great.
that humanity is being challenged for real to step into the courage that it will take to choose a path aligned with love rather than fear. And each of us is being challenged to step into that courage more fully on a personal level. He says, courage is the price of entrance to spiritual adulthood. And it can only be realized through facing our deepest fears. So, can we do this? How can we find the courage, Joanna, to activate this kind of like evolutionary leap that we're in the middle of? Or maybe it's a little step-by-step process, I don't know, but it does feel like we're in an evolutionary time when our collective awakening is being activated. And so to find the courage to face into that and to find our collective intelligence to meet this moment. How would you respond to that, Joanna?
And thinking that there is so much that we are just on the brink of knowing and being ready to experience, share it with others. That there is an understanding of the systems that we are part of, the actual ways that we can find in ourselves, the coming into a deeper experience of who we are, that we are the earth. This is ever since I'd say the middle of the 20th century, there have been turnings of wisdom, openings to our mutual belonging, both in science and in new forms of spirituality and courage that we have been manifesting, that we have in our work for justice, just in the last decade, just in the last years, that there are, and what young people are stepping into and wanting to make real for our world, and what they're willing to face. It is gorgeous. So I think that there's where it's the evolutionary leap that we can make now as we dare to give legs to our love for each other, for all species, for our world. I feel it very in the activists coming out of every religion right now. You know, it's mostly, I see it very keenly with the brother, sister in the Dharma that I know, but that there is a readiness to put away the folly of playing with death, threatening each other with death, and to pull each other into the blazing sunlight of who we can be and what we can make of this beautiful planet.
Give legs to our love. Yes. I know that you said in a call we had the other day that you have been feeling like you're sensing all the bodhisattvas, lining up.
Yes.
To come in and give legs to our love, to participate in this time.
Yeah, people who don't want to miss it. So I'm imagining that on the Buddha fields throughout the cosmos, throughout the universe, they say, oh, have you heard what's happening on Earth? That little third planet out on that medium, so way over there on that wing of the Milky Way. Oh, I want a chance to get born there right now, because this is a chance to really go for broke, to really see what love can manifest.
Mm, 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 mm.
Really know how ready your heart mind can be to face and turn it into a joyful adventure.
Mm.
Because it's scary to be on Earth now.
It is. It takes courage to face into what's happening because it looks so dire.
Yeah. But how else are you going to live here? With your head in a bag? I mean, but look at it and say, this is a great moment for humanity to wake up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look at more and more. Just be on the lookout for people who are waking up, and see and look at, and see that in the mirror as well.
Mm-hmm. Joanna, do you think that there's a difference in the process of awakening, as we have talked about it in the Buddha Dharma for such a long 2600 years, that the process now is different because it is a collective experience and we are asked to come into this experience together?
I do, definitely. I think that there are a lot of signs that it's actually, as people have been saying, the next Buddha is a Sangha. It's going to be a shared collective experience, because it isn't working for us to try to run things and direct the processes by staying separated in the with all our thinking between our ears in this. But we are beginning more and more. I bet each one of you who is in this conversation is recognizing that instance after instance where somebody else is finishing your sentence, someone else steps in at just the right moment, and you're finding, as you listen to each other, as you speak to each other, something you're feeling coming home, but coming home to not a smart little Joanna or Cynthia, but coming home to a beautiful identity that is larger, that your real self is much bigger than your spag of skin, however lovely it may feel to you, but you're bigger than that. You're as big as this. It's feeling as big as this planet at times, and it can be a whole lot bigger.
Yeah.
And we're right here. We're alive at this time when this has to happen for life to go on. That's what I'm so excited about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a miracle, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, our journey through the years, through the centuries, is strewn with miracles.
Yeah.
Just how we came about. And it's in us, I think of the magic of how it was for us. How much we know in our mother's womb. We went through all the forms of life. We had tails and gills, and we did the whole progression of life. We know that, our bodies know that, and we want to continue it. We want to continue it because we're on the way of having a mind that can understand and dance with the cosmos.
Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How does it feel to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and that was in you, that readiness was in you when you listened with a shock and maybe some consternation to what the Lama was saying in the cave. What? A vase? Me? All over? Who?
Who, me? No.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's what miracles are made of, and that's what evolutionary leaps are made of.
Well, it does feel to me like this practice has facilitated some real evolutionary leaps, to be quite honest. It has been so surprising and so deep. And I think everyone who is here, well, maybe not everyone, but many of you could kind of like testify, that what we're doing here is part of a larger calling. Maybe we could say it's Gaia's calling, to give us a little pot that we can pour our love and our hearts and our caring into, and take it to places we love and care about, and then watch what happens, because things do happen that we could never have predicted.
I love that. I love the reading about that in what you've written, dear Cynthia. Yeah. How people that you'd expect to just scratch their head and say, "You want to do what with a what?" Me? But know that there's a readiness, as if that there was some story that they had heard once in a dream. How a planet comes alive, how a planet knows itself.
Yeah.
That's us.
And how we know ourselves to be part of Gaia.
Yeah.
How we wake up to that.
Yeah.
No. I could carry on here for a lot longer. It's such a gift to be able to talk with you, Joanna, and to share this conversation with everyone here.
Yeah, but before you stop, I just want to say, I want to bow to the young woman who had sought out the yogi and the lama in the cave, and that and baffled as she must have been, she was thinking surely he has something else to suggest than pots. and that you gave it, you opened to what he was saying. You didn't run. You didn't say, "Oh no, I'll ask some of my friends. Okay, I'll write an article about it, or I'll." But you allowed yourself to be recruited. You stepped into more courage even to follow his guidance. And then you stepped into that. So you show that it can be done, that you can give your life to something. And for that, there are no words that can express the beauty of that, and how we need that at this tired, baffled, poisoned, fragile old world that seems to be falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we find this, we find a fountain in our own hearts. We find a fountain that we didn't know was there. It was a fountain of love, of belief, and it makes the world look very young. And we become very young, and we open to an adventure that is the kind of adventure that could just save the world.
Making me cry. I hope that, I mean, my prayer as we now go into the meditation tonight is that everyone here and those who are listening later and those who are yet to come, may find, each of us find that thing that is calling us, that we can offer, that is only ours, and is contributing because of that to the restoration of our world, the engagement with the creative life force of Gaia, of Mother Earth, of which we are such an integral part. And this is all there is. I mean,
and what's so great is that everybody who takes part in this, we hear about and take part in there saying, "Oh, okay, well, sure," that this spreads.
Yeah.
All you need to do is try. All you need to do is ask. That was what, and you were willing to do that. I don't know if I would have found the immediate, that readiness, but you did.
Well, I found it, it took me a while to accept the assignment, and then it was with the help of you and others, so many others along the way. And I know one other very important person is also on this call, and that's Wendy Johnson. Wendy was there at the very beginning and was such a sister on the path in those early days. And there have been so many of you. It's been 30 years that we have been carrying this out, more than that. And now we have, we had this first generation of treasure vases that I was hell-bent to take around the world. And then suddenly there was a second generation that needed to be taken around. And now those are being stewarded by many of you. And then recently we crafted this third generation of treasure vases with Marian Naranjo here in the native lands of the Tewa people in northern New Mexico. And the vases are going out in yet another way through new stewards. And, so it has a life of its own now. It really does. And
yes, it does.
I'm just so grateful, Joanna, for the call that you answered in bringing forward the work that reconnects, and all that you have done to inspire so many of us to meet this moment with everything we've got, knowing that we are vessels of the holy.
Because it's really more fun to be glad you're here on Earth, to be grateful to be alive just now. Yeah.
Well, my dear, thank you so much. And I think we should turn now to this meditation that we do every month, because actually when we do it, it does remind us of that beautiful love that we feel, and the caring that we want to grow in the world. As Marian Naranjo would say, we're feeding the spirit of what we want to see in the world. And so it's a way of uplifting ourselves and also giving energy to this incredible global healing mandala that we have created over all of this time through this practice. So I invite us now to turn into the practice itself. And Joanna, I hope that you will stay with us. Pardon?
You bet, I will.
So good. So, and if for some reason it's like becoming too much and you're ready for bed, we understand. But after the meditation, we will have a chance to open the circle for sharing. And I'm sure many of you have much bubbling up from this conversation and also your own prayers that you would like to share. So we will return to each other on the other side of the meditation for just that. And look forward to continuing to share our voices with each other after we ring the bell and take a breath and dive deep into the practice itself. So for now, it is often helpful to turn off your video so that we can not be distracted by all the comings and goings of each other during the practice. And as I say, when we finish with the meditation, we'll open, those of you who have treasure vases here in the circle, please bring them forward after the meditation, and we'll open them up to receive whatever prayers or offerings want to be shared. And for now, I'm going to turn off my video and I'll ring the bell and then invite my dear friend and brother, Julian, from Southwestern Australia to lead us into the meditation with the sound of the didgeridoo. So breathing in and breathing out, deep and slow, allowing our bodies to relax as we enter this present moment even more fully. With each breath, sensing a feeling of stability and calm taking root in our own embodied experience, and letting go of any thoughts or feelings about the past or the future as we arrive again and again with each breath into this present moment, this only moment where life happens. With the next breath, feeling our roots reaching down into the ground, receiving the nourishment and life force from Mother Earth. Taking refuge in her. And then opening to the light. And all of those vast energies of the entire cosmos, including the moon, the full moon that is shining down on us tonight. And now let's take a moment to acknowledge the ancestors of the original indigenous peoples of the lands we each inhabit, giving thanks, making a connection consciously, and inviting them to bless us and this practice. And receiving that blessing also, then calling on all of our other sources of inspiration, our own ancestors, elders, teachers and guides, lineage masters, Buddhas and bodhisattvas and wisdom beings that we feel connected to, and invite them all to just be right here with us right now. Feel their presence, like Joanna was saying. All of those bodhisattvas lining up, waiting to be called on. So call on them and invite their blessings to enter you and everyone who is present for this meditation, whether here, now, or listening to the recording later. And receive the blessing of their love, support, guidance, healing, and clarity. Oh, and as you breathe in and this blessing enters you, feel this love and caring coming all the way in to your deepest heart of hearts. And breathe it in. And then breathing out, send this love to everyone who is present in this circle. And breathing in, receive the love that is being sent. Breathing in and breathing out, sending and receiving this love and caring all around our circle, strengthening us, giving us that courage that we need, that energy to draw from, and gradually expand your focus to include all of your friends and family and wider community and all of those who this practice might serve. And imagine this circle gradually growing from each of our homes, neighborhoods, bioregions, countries, and continents to include all beings in all places, everywhere, embracing the whole planet with our love. And now with this feeling of love rooted in our hearts and awakened strongly, let's turn our awareness to those who are suffering, the places where there is war, poverty, disease, pollution, droughts or floods or fires. Wherever the need for healing is very great. And breathe in this suffering now. And breathing out, send your love and caring to relieve the suffering of the earth, of her people, and of all life all around the whole planet. And imagine that where there is hunger, we send food. And where there is thirst, water. And where there is homelessness, shelter. And where there is war and conflict, peace. Where there is sickness, well-being. And aware of where the earth is unstable, in danger, or out of balance in any way. Imagine that area is brought great protection and healing, and that balance and harmony is restored. Recall the beauty and the goodness of life, the riches to be found everywhere in nature, the precious gifts of the earth that sustain life, and the very essence of the elemental energies of nature being strengthened and revitalized all around this beautiful blue-green planet that we call home. And as we call into our awareness the presence of the earth treasure vases that have been planted or are in the process of being planted around the world, imagine that together we're pouring our love and caring in the form of light into each and every little clay pot buried in the body of Mother Earth as our offering. Imagine each earth treasure vase radiating this light in every direction, sending healing and protective energies wherever it is needed, in whatever form it is needed. See this light like a rainbow streaming forth from each of the vases. White, yellow, red, blue, green, and all the colors in between. And breathing in and breathing out. Allow the feeling of caring and compassion in your heart of hearts to grow. And send that feeling out in the form of light to all of the people, animals, plants, and places that are connected to the earth treasure vases that need healing and protection in the past, in the present, and in the future. And we'll begin to build now this global healing mandala by focusing our attention at the center of the earth treasure vase global healing mandala in a cave above Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, the birthplace of the atomic bomb. And to the north, at the source of the Rio Grande River in Creede, Colorado. To the south, at the mouth of the Rio Grande at the Gulf of Mexico. And to the east, on top of Mount Baldy above Santa Fe. and to the west on Mount Chacoma, known as Sycamore, to the Tewa people of northern New Mexico, who are the custodians of the sacred lands where this mandala began. And having established now the center and the four directions, let's see the mandala growing in every direction. To the Indian Point Nuclear Reservation on the Hudson River in New York, to the Headwaters Old Growth Forest in northern New Mexico, northern California, excuse me, the Punta Cometa on the coast of Oaxaca in Mexico, Vilcabamba, Ecuador, Jakova, Kosovo, the Lawrence Laboratory at the University of California in Berkeley, the Tao Dam Forest on the border of Thailand and Burma, the village of Ein Kerem in Israel, Palestine, Hiroshima, Japan, the cloisters in New York City after 9/11, the Biosphere 2 in Oracle, Arizona, the Martin Luther King Freedom Center in Oakland, California, the source of the Ganges in India, the source of the Amazon in Peru, the Southern Pacific Ocean, 93 feet down in Agum Atoll, the Trobriand Islands, Papua New Guinea, the Arctic Circle, Alaska, the Kogi lands of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, Colombia, Telewoyan Village, Lofa County, Voinjama District, Liberia, West Africa, the Blyde River Canyon, Limpopo Province, South Africa, the Giza Plateau in Egypt, Haleakala, Maui, Hawaii, the Itombwe Forest, South Kivu Province, Democratic Republic of Congo, Avebury, England, Bindaluk, Jawan Country, Catherine, Northern Territory, Australia, and the second generation of Earth Treasure Vases in Gabernmung, Arnhem Land, Australia, the Mackenzie King Park, Ottawa River Valley, Ottawa, Gatineau, Canada, the original garden in Findhorn, Scotland, the Great Stupa of Bodhanath in Kathmandu, Nepal, the Flint Hills of Kansas in the heartland of America, the Santa Cruz Mountains near Silicon Valley, California, the Valles Caldera of northern New Mexico, Pornolulu, Bungle Bungles, the Kimberleys, Australia, the village of Utqiagvik at the edge of the sea in northernmost Arctic Alaska, the Hanford Nuclear Reservation on the shores of the Columbia River in the state of Washington, Mount Ryozen above Fukushima, Japan, back to where it all began at the Cave Hermitage of Charok in Nepal, to Margaby County, Liberia, in the base of an old iron bark tree on Dityol Mountain in the Budawang wilderness of Walbunja country, Yuin Nation, southeastern Australia, to our root temple at Tolu Gompa in Nepal, and the Munzur Valley near the source of the Euphrates River in Turkey. We want to also include the 14 Earth Treasure Vases still awaiting their destination, and the Earth Treasure Vases being stewarded right now to southwestern Australia, New Zealand, the Bering Strait in Russia, Delphi in Greece, the Ashaninka lands of the Amazon forest in Brazil, Korea, Arhuaco territory in Colombia, a vase dedicated to healing racism in the United States of America, to Serpent Mound in Ohio, to Antarctica, and the third generation of Earth Treasure vases now in the hands of the stewards who recently crafted them. So once again, please take a deep, slow in-breath and a deep, slow out-breath. And imagine that all that is needed to relieve the suffering of the earth can be seen as light, radiating out from each of these treasure vases in all of these locations, all around the whole planet, in every direction. Imagine this healing light flowing out from the vases, filling the whole global Earth Treasure Vase mandala with the powerful energies of our love and our caring. See this healing force traveling through the song lines and the meridians of the earth, flowing into each location on the global mandala. See the mandala like a web of light, embracing the whole planet. Feel the light flowing back and forth like waves from your heart to the Earth Treasure vases, energizing them and adding vitality and brilliance to the light that is then flowing out to the whole area in the sphere of influence of each of these Earth Treasure vases. And imagine this light also flowing into your own location, your own special spot in nature. And feel the collective spiritual intelligence of the entire global Earth Treasure Vase mandala, activating your node on the mandala and entering you as a holy vessel. And now please focus your concentration one-pointedly on bringing healing and protection to the earth for all time. See the healing and protection radiating out from all the vases around the earth in waves of light, flowing back and forth endlessly. And imagine that the healing is accomplished and the vitality of the earth is completely restored. And now, recognizing the great interconnected web that is life on earth, of which we are each a part. Let's give thanks for this precious, sacred time and pray that the compassion and peace that is our true condition may bring supreme happiness and benefit to the earth, to all beings. And with another deep, slow in-breath and deep, slow out-breath, let's bring our awareness back into our body, feeling our feet on the floor, grounded on the earth in our own location. And wiggling our toes and opening our eyes and turning on our video and returning to the circle for sharing. So I have here what we call the mama vessel. And if any of you are also stewarding treasure vases, feel free to bring them into the circle now. Open them up to receive whatever wants to be shared. And this is a time for making our offerings, making our prayers, voicing that love and concern. And because we have Joanna with us tonight, still with us in the circle, if there are special things that would like to be shared directly to Joanna, following on that conversation or out of the practice, please feel free. I would like to give you a chance, Joanna, if you're moved to share what is coming to you in this moment. I'm gonna, you need to unmute yourself, or Jeffrey might be able to do it. Yeah, there you go.
I will be here, but I'm having trouble with my throat, so I will be silent with all my attention, with my heart. I loved so grateful for the meditation. Feel so close to you all. Thank you. I'm thinking of, and having the vases named, the locations named, was very wonderful for me. So I'm here, but a little sore throat.
Thank you, Joanna. May the healing of this circle find its way into your throat, into your precious vessel body. And may I offer a prayer for your long life and your good health for as long as you may remain this beautiful blue-green planet we call home. So I'm seeing a hand from you, David Nickel. Wonderful to have you with us tonight. Please come forward.
Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia. It's just very special to be here tonight with everybody, and with you, Joanna and Cynthia, and just so much love and gratitude to you, Joanna, for everything that you have activated in us, in our world. And my prayer in this moment, what I was feeling, the meditation, was this sense of us being on this precipice together. And this prayer, may we have the courage to step forth together down the birth canal, to really let ourselves go together down the birth canal of this new era, to trust that evolutionary wisdom that's driving us all together. We can. Yes, we can. Thank you.
Oh, yes, we can. May it be so. Whew. Okay. Good. All right. Randy Bell.
There we go. I think I'm unmuted now.
We're good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, great gratitude for, as usual, Cynthia, for being the center of the Sangha in a sense, and also wonderful to meet and hear from Joanna, and what a great being to share with us. So a couple of things. One, just my personal sense of, while we were meditating about the interconnectivity of the various vases, I could really feel it much stronger, that the light connections in the web of the of light being created by the interconnection of the vases was particularly radiant. And I was, for the first time, seeing that all these, the web interconnections, as the light rays cross, I was seeing vortices from those points then radiating light strongly down into the earth. So that was just my particular perception. So I would like to offer for the vases that are being prepared, just that the vases receive our collective hearts, entwined and placed in the vases, and pulsing and radiating love energy out when they are when they find their homes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to add one other thing, because, and this relates to the whole issue of the nuclear aspect, which Joanna has been so eloquently addressing. And I'll make this quick, but I just, about 2 weeks ago, went to a presentation by Greg Mello of the Los Alamos Study Group. And as we speak, in our backyards, I'm also in Santa Fe, New Mexico, but up in Los Alamos, overlooking us, there is a gigantic construction effort going on. This is all the prelude towards the completion of a gigantic factory of plutonium core triggers for nuclear bombs. And this has not been getting much media attention because they don't want the people to become aware of it. I find it really disturbing for many reasons, because they have establish that we desperately need this for our nation and our security. And it is delusion, and it is corrupt profit making, and it's so many other things. But if anybody is interested in following this, go to the Los Alamos Study Group's website. They have tons of information on it. There will be a demonstration at the Capitol in Santa Fe on the 5th of November. And anybody who is interested and feels strongly, perhaps you'll be there. I plan on going. I'm sure there's plenty of information on the website, but the Los Alamos Study Group's point was, unless people stand up and say, we don't want this, it's going to happen. So anyway.
Well, let's turn that into a prayer, shall we?
Yes.
And an intention for people to stand up and stop this.
So be it.
Yeah. And just to add on that, Mary Naranjo, who is one of our guiding elders of this community, is working on an initiative to bring awareness to this very issue. And we'll be circulating some kind of a letter very widely to start a movement to stop it. So we'll be sharing that when the time comes as well.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Randy. Whew, another big breath. If you don't know how to raise your hand, you can find that little option at the bottom of the participants panel. You can also unmute yourself and I'll see that you're there that way. But let's not get a lot of people lined up. I like to be pretty spontaneous. So we've now got Julie and then Heidi and Joanna. At any point, if you do feel like sharing your voice, you can jump in, but I'm honoring your need for quiet. So then, Julie.
Thank you. And again, I wanted to extend deep, deep gratitude to everyone. Cynthia, I want to extend blessings to you for peace and strength and stamina and long, long life. Joanna, I want to extend to you deep, deep gratitude. Your work has had a tremendous impact on my life and my work, and I'm so grateful for your wisdom and want to offer you as well blessings for peace and strength and a long, long life. I want to also extend that to our Sangha. Deep gratitude for all of you and your ancestors. And the prayer that I'd like to offer our vases is that all fear and hatred in our collective human mind dissolve into love and compassion and an unshakable faith in the future arises in our young people. And I want to ask if you would like to also take a moment to offer that prayer, that unshakable faith in the future arises in the hearts and minds of our young people. I see them suffering so much, feeling that there is no point anymore. So I want to offer that blessing and that prayer and that intention for all of us, but specifically for our young ones. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. May it be so.
May it be so.
You have said. Thank you. Yeah. Heidi.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Joanna. What came to me during this particular group, and I always think that the universe brings together all those at a particular time for particular formulation that is not known on one level, but it's known on another level. And what came to me was the vases themselves are singing. They have a song inside of them that is radiating. The ones that are planted are radiating, and that our ears can't hear them, that sound that they're making, but it's vibrating through the planetary being. And these tears are my gratitude for all the prayers, all the footsteps that have been taken along the path to the burying of these vases. And the deep love I have for the planetary being that is our home. And may she continue to flow out in a way that we, in our ignorance, can hear her song, that our cells can vibrate with her song. Because I think if that happens, then we will know how to speak with each other. We will know how to act with each other. And what needs to happen can happen. So that is my prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, and that goes for all of them. And that may the ones that have not been put yet in the ground, may they find their song too.
Oh, thank you, Heidi. Very beautiful. May it be so. And they say, you know, so many traditions that when you pray, you have to feel it. Because it's the feeling that carries prayers. It's not just some idea. So your tears are an offering too. Bless you. All right, John's iPad.
Hi, hello. This is Juan, right here in Chupadero Valley with you, Cynthia, and the full moon is blessing us, shining down. I've heard so many beautiful thoughts and prayers just now, and I have had many of those same thoughts. And what I'm left with right now is the gratitude that I feel for the Sangha, all those who are turning their hearts and minds to this very, very important mission. And to give gratitude for this practice that you have brought to us, Cynthia, so that we can engage our energies and our love and our deepest wishes for the health of Pachamama, Goddess Gaia, Mother Earth. And I give thanks for all the warriors here on this path. All of us together drawn together, linked in the web of the earth treasure vases. That's what I wish to place into all of these vases, is the gratitude for all the possibilities that are being shown to us. Thank you so much.
Mm.
Aho.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Juan.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Louise.
Hello. I can't see myself. There I am. I didn't know if there was enough light. I just am listening in from Washington, D.C., Piscataway Lands, Chesapeake Bay watershed. I've been in these calls about 5 years, which is a very short time compared to the 30. And I just feel like there's something tonight. I raised my hand when Heidi was speaking about the humming and the singing. I felt like I heard languages that I didn't understand, like the vases communicating one with another. And I know there's been a rising of the network of the vases, almost like a diamond lacework around Earth. But so much sound tonight, sound like chanting and humming. And so I just have a prayer that we would tune in and listen to those languages. And I wanted to thank Joanna Macy, whose work has inspired me for many years, and just say that at deeper and deeper levels, I'm understanding what you were calling us to. When you first were doing grief work, I really didn't get it. I don't think I was ready to grieve at that level and understand what was taking place on the planet. And so it's, I think, Joanna, thank you for calling me into that deeper spiritual maturity around it. And then Cynthia, also for your practice in this Sangha, and David also, how it's really shaped my consciousness and expanded it. I'm deeply grateful and just feel so fortunate to be sitting in tonight, which feels they're all amazing, but there's something about the auspiciousness of this evening, which to me is really, I'm in a lot of awe. So prayer of gratitude, discernment, listening.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. It's wonderful to meet you. I don't know that I've seen your face before, so it's nice to know that you're here. And thank you for your words.
Thank you.
So I think it was Cynthia Lazaroff.
Well, I just want to say that it's such a privilege to be here and such an honor to be here and to see you, Joanna, and Cynthia in dialogue together in this way. It's such a gift that I know I will cherish and listen to over and over again. I have listened to Vessels of the Holy, the interview that you did, Cynthia, maybe, I don't know, was it 10 years ago? I don't know, something like that. You, Joanna. And I just want you to know, both of you, that I listen to that frequently. I've listened to it so many times. The words so deeply inspire me, and I carry them with me. And it's such an honor to receive that gift, and now to receive it in real time is really an honor. So much gratitude to both of you and Joanna for carrying this work and working on transforming this legacy for so many decades. I bow before you, and It's such an honor to be here with you and Cynthia, and Cynthia for bringing us all together in this incredible practice that Joanna referenced. You didn't say me, you said, okay, you said yes. And so for saying yes, thank you. Because this is a gift that just keeps giving. And so I have a prayer, but I just want to say that this is the first time that I've ever had the Bering Strait was open in a full moon ceremony. And I wasn't expecting to be doing this today, but it feels really auspicious and important that it's with everyone here present. And I'm gratitude, but in particular for you, Joanna, because of what you've held with Russia too, and the Soviet Union. So it's open here. And what came to me in the meditation was remembrance, that my prayer is for remembrance, and it's for remembrance of all the teachings from you, Joanna, you, Cynthia, and everyone present. And in particular, I want to just say the teachings to remember that in those moments of greatest despair, fear, sadness, pain, gut-wrenching pain over what's going on, to remember to give legs to our love, and that it's a matter of the heart, that it's really about, remember that it's about everything and everyone we know and love and cherish on our beloved earth. So that's my prayer, and thank you so much. Mwah.
Thank you for your stewardship of the Bering Strait treasure vase and all that you're doing for the legacy of the nuclear reality that we're living in, Cynthia, for your beautiful work in these times as well.
Can I speak to?
Please.
Oh, Cynthia, I was just so excited to see your face when it appeared up there. I didn't know you were here. Oh, how I honor you in my heart. How I love your steadfastness. How it goes back through the years for me. And you just are a model for how you stay faithful. And it just, my heart leaps to know that we have that capacity. And that your love for the Russian people, now I'm going to cry, but it is so hard to see them made into an enemy again by our government. And that your faithfulness, I think that my favorite virtue right now is just faithfulness. And it's so beautiful to behold it in you, my darling one.
I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you both. For those of you who don't know, Cynthia Lazaroff is another jewel amongst us. Yeah. Okay, well, Therese in New Zealand, please come to us.
With wet eyes and crying and a heart just bursting with gratitude for you wonderful people. Thank you. Yeah, kia ora from Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're here in the foothills of the Karioi Mountain and on the edges of the Whangaroa Ocean and in the land of the Tainui people. And there's a few of our Sangha on the call as well. So hi there to Tiska and Karen and Nikki, Francesca and Pippa. And Joanna, I was so touched by the excitement that you shared for being alive now and for all the ones that are choosing to come now to the earth, and what arose from that during the meditation was a prayer for also our brother trees, and a similar feeling of excitement and hope and a yearning as well for them the ones that are coming in and being birthed and arising up out of the earth, all of those trees, which in our human history have been there to help and support us. Thinking now of the tree under which the Buddha was enlightened, and in this land of great trees, the kauri and all the tall standing trees of the forest. And with this prayer is also the acknowledgement of the ones that have been deforested and cut down and burning at the moment, and a prayer for the ones that are still standing, holding the ground, and then this prayer of excitement and hope for the ones that are coming in, and the ways that we can work together and do whatever it is that we're doing now on the earth and for the earth. Deep gratitude to our brother tree, and deep gratitude to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Therese. It's always wonderful to hear you and feel you, and just many, many blessings to the little holy vessel you're holding in your hands right now. Yeah.
And I forgot to mention the name of my most important Sangha member here, Itai, as well. Thank you.
Much love to you both, and to all those relatives out there in your part of the world. All right. I'm going to call on you, Ruthie, and just let you all know that we, after Ruthie, we still have a few more moments here till the top of the hour. If anyone else would like to come forward, you can look deeply at whether this is a good moment for you to share something, and if so, let us know. So Ruthie?
Hello, I'm Ruthie C. Scoter, land of the Hickory Apache, northern New Mexico, alongside the Rio Shama, under great ponderosa trees. Tonight, I am accompanied by deer and deer medicine. The prayer is for gentleness. And I'm learning this lesson in every cell of my body right now. And I realized that it's not incompatible with being a fierce warrior, of standing for freedom and truth and connection and what seems to be non-negotiable. It can be done gently. And it is to be done gently. That's the way that my truth unfolds, in the best way of service. The other animals that are here are pollywogs and tadpoles. And I think that this came in, Joanna, with your beautiful description of how we are part of the global intelligence system of nature, that as we evolve in our mother's wombs, we know ourselves as swimming beings. And all of these little tiny swimmers, just the little ones in groups, came in. So the other prayer is having to do with how the animals show us in groups. The herd of deer, they care for their own. The circle of bison, they care for their babies, they stand strong. And the tadpoles, they're all just swimming, they know which way to go, the fish migrate. So this prayer of the knowing of nature and our ability to be together in groups with a knowledge in the group that isn't, it's part of each of us, but it has a intelligence of its own, that this is infused into our vases tonight with great love.
Thanks, Ruthie. May it be so. Nice to see,
Alalaho.
nice to see your shining face. Yeah. All right. Maggie and Ava in Melbourne, Australia.
Everyone. We're on the land of the Wurundjeri people. And I would like to invite in the blessings of the ancestor being of this land, which is Bunjil, the wedge-tailed eagle, the moiety of this land, which is Wa, the crow, and the totem of this land are the birds, them birds. Joanna, I had to raise my hand to deeply honor you. I feel like you've laid a creed for us to follow. There is this credence that you are bestowing. In listening to that, the video that Cynthia has spoken of before the call, also as others have said, being deeply touched. The question that arose in me was to say, what would be the baton that you would pass on to us, which you've more than answered in all that you've given, in what you've shared today over the many years. And likewise, as Cynthia said, I will be re-listening to that again. There is such blending of all levels of life and wisdom. From the fierceness of the Wara, the courage to see, the love of humanity, but also this big vision that you wrap it all in, the deep hope and even excitement of what's to come. So I deeply honor you. And if there's something I can put into the vase, I would ask that the jewel that you hold, which is comprised of so much, the bejeweledness of all that you are, you be, you give, gets placed into these vases, that it's a baton that we can receive into our own selves, but that in this moment we can place into these vases, into this great web, that it can continue and continue and continue. I just deeply thank you, thank Cynthia, and the deep circle, the sacred web of life that we are all holding and creating, that is absolutely life-sustaining in these times. So my deep bow for so much. I thank you dearly. Mm-hmm. May we receive it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Maggie.
Thank you, beautiful Zanka. Thank you, Joanna, for being here with all your incredible spirit, where we all can drink from and pass on in our lives today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you so much. And I would like to give to the vases, all the vases, a necklace of tears of joy and sorrow.
May I say a word? You know, I cannot see the moon here because on this dried out, dusty place threatened with forest fire, there's actually come clouds of rain today. And your words to me are like the refreshment of a cloud has been coming across the Pacific to me, and it's helps me breathe better. And your kindness of words are like truly like a dew, a lovely rain on my spirit that will keep me juicy. Like the juicy.
Yeah. Thank you both, Maggie and Ava, always. There was a question in the chat about where might we find that dialogue from 10 years ago. It's a video which is posted on YouTube on both the websites that are connected to us here, Earth Treasure Vase and Gaia Mandala. It's called Vessels of the Holy. I also made a link to it in a recent newsletter, so you can find it there if you're subscribed to the newsletter. So, and I'm going to save the chat and post that in the mandala for those of you who would like to see it. So yes, I heard somebody say something there. We're coming to the end of our time, and I saw Mary Lou. I saw twice. I saw you, Laura Lynn. I don't know if you're still there. You had your hand up and then it went away. And I see you, Olivia. And I would love to include you all if you promise me you'll be brief, because I would like to end with a song from Liza Jane Alexander to close. Speaking of songs, we have heard much about songs tonight. So for now, I'll call on you, Mary Lou, and just ask you to, you and Olivia and Laura Lynn will be our last three shares, and just try to keep it like that.
A song has been with me all night while we've been doing this, so I just wanted to quickly share, and it's short. And I'm in Maine, which is the land of the Wabanaki and who are known as the people of the dawn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let the earth move me. I'm gonna let the earth stir me deep. I'm gonna let the earth wake me up from an ancient sleep. I'm gonna laugh all of my laughter. I'm gonna cry all of my tears. I'm gonna love the rain just as much as the sun when it clears.
Oh. Woohoo! Thanks, Mary Lou. Yeah, lovely. All right. Olivia Fermi in Vancouver, please. So nice to meet you finally.
Yeah, lovely to meet you, Cynthia. And thank you for this opportunity to meet you and Joanna. And I'll go right to the chase because you said to keep it brief. My grandfather, Enrico Fermi, was one of the key physicists in developing the atomic bomb during the Manhattan Project. And he started to come to me as a grandfather in spirit in the mid 2000s. And at first I thought I was just having a narcissistic, because he's so famous. And I hadn't met him when I was little, but he kept showing up gently, encouraging me to continue to explore this legacy. And this happened over many years. And I came to trust that he's my grandfather, offering his encouragement to us to do this healing work. And so I would like to offer his blessing to the Earth Treasure Vase project to come full circle. And it's from a very genuine spiritual place.
Oh, wow. Ancestral healing. Yeah. Thank you, Olivia. Your prayer has been received. To be continued. Laura Lynn.
Bonjour and good evening to everyone here. I would like to just say thank you so much to Joanna for her enthusiasm for being here in the middle of this. It's a good reminder because we just need to be reminded that we perhaps signed up to be here. And thank you for giving us this way to participate in healing. It reminded me her excitement of being here, of all of the elders that I've spent the last 30 years being in ceremony with, who always were, they've been telling us for a long time, Grandmother Earth is shaking her back. She's going to think, you're going to see many things in your lifetime. It's coming, get ready, make yourself ready, stay strong with your prayers and songs. And one holy man in particular, I would like to acknowledge tonight, his name is Robert Cross. He's a Lakota person who lives here in Colorado, but he's well known and shares his healing with people all over on many reservations and all around. And tonight, I'm remembering him always like really getting excited, like a little kid saying, Grandma's shaking her back. It's going to happen. I can't wait for the purification. I can't wait. And that's what he was saying in the last lodge that I heard him in. And he always led sundances and lodges and beautiful songs. He is in the hospital tonight with COVID pneumonia. And so far he's off intubation. They're not doing that. And he's asking for prayers. He sings so many healing songs for so many people. I ask that we can all have healing and understand this purification and honor all the elders, and that prayer for the vases, that they have all the knowledge of all the ones who went before with their songs and their prayers and their knowledge, that it just is strengthened with all of the work we all do together. Oh, mataka, inuwi magana.
Thank you, Laura Lynn. We send our prayers his way and to all those who need them tonight.
Could you just say his name again for our prayers, his name?
Robert Cross. And his name in Lakota means the people's boy. They named him that because they knew how many people he would be helping, and he dedicated his whole life to helping others. So, thank you.
Okay. For all those who are sick and suffering from sickness in the world today, we send our prayers for the healing that is called for, to restore balance and harmony in the world. And in closing, I wanted to invite my dear sister, Liza Jane Alexander, to sing for us the mantra of Gaia that has come through me and into this community and is now being practiced so beautifully. And so this is a song of the mantra that I hope you'll learn and use as a way to make the connection to Gaia much more personally, and to send our prayers out. So we'll just sing this. Liza will sing it for us. We'll sing it on our own with ourselves muted so we can not be interfering with her, and take it as a way to, what we say in Buddhism, dedicate the merit. Take all the goodness that we have generated and send it out once again. Offer it up. Send it out in all the ways it's needed. And when you're ready, you can bow out, and we'll hope to see you all again next month. And thank you, beloved Joanna, for being with us this full moon.
Om Gaia Mandala Siddhi Palabruma Om Gaya Mandala Siddhi Palabruma Om Gaya Mandala Siddhi Palabruma Om Gaya Mandala Siddhi
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for your prayers and your practice and your presence. We'll hope to see you next month. Big, 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 great thanks to you, Joanna, once again. Alalaho.
Alalaho.